y el fuerte ruido.
Desplazamiento de un bólido muy luminoso de dirección que venía aumentando de volumen de dirección de sur a este, en que se desplazaba, digamos, en sentido.
The past 20 years, our Skyscan has caught some interesting things. Bugs crawling across the glass in front of the camera. We've also had some incidents with birds. But this morning, something quite strange came up from the southwest, and we've slowed it down a couple of times to show you this interesting feature that streaked across Perth skies early this morning. This Skyscan takes a frame every minute, so it took 4 minutes for this object to cross the skies above Perth. And speaking to the observatory, they're convinced that it's not a meteor.
A huge tornado has struck the Emilia-Romagna region of northern Italy. Amateur footage from small towns near the regional capital of Bologna showed the storm tearing through the countryside. Farmers who were caught out in their fields were blasted by the winds, as well as pummeled by a barrage of hailstones. Italian media reported 11 people wounded and damage to several properties. The governor of Emilia-Romagna has asked the central government to declare a state of emergency. For people living here, when it rains it pours. Around the same time, a 3.8 magnitude earthquake was detected in nearby Ferrara.
An inferno in paradise.
The wildfires so fast and furious, they have turned parts of California into a tinderbox.
Midway between Malibu and Santa Barbara, firefighters go door to door. Nearly 600 firefighters fighting a ground war, a losing battle as 50-mile-an-hour winds sweep through dry brush.
Like this right here. Going embers all over the place.
The blaze has grown by 7,000 acres just today. Normally, these hot desert winds come at the end of summer, early fall. But this year, they're here a good 4 or 5 months early.
This is a very early start to fire season. We're seeing conditions and fires that you normally see in October. Here, it is only May.
Adelaide's Indian summer has weather forecasters reaching for the record books. This week's unseasonable warm spell could be the longest in 92 years. Farmers across the state are increasingly desperate for rain.
Not since the early days of the roaring 20s have we faced such warm temperatures in May. We're looking at 4 days in a row over 25, 3 of those over 28 degrees.
This time of year we'd expect temperatures to be on average around about 19 degrees, and we're seeing almost 10 degrees above average for 3 days in a row.
So evidently there is a tornado about 30 miles northeast of here. And this is what the sky has been doing for the last half hour. It's non-stop lightning with no thunder. I have never seen this before in my life.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. Yeah. No, we're outside. Matt said it's like an episode of War of the Worlds.
There was a spectacular sight in the sky today for those lucky enough to be close to see it. A rare solar eclipse called an annular eclipse was only visible in places like Australia, Papua New Guinea, and the Solomon Islands. It's known as the Ring of Fire.
A 6.2 magnitude earthquake has struck southern Iran. It occurred at a depth of 36 kilometers near the port city of Josk. The quake has been followed by at least 5 strong aftershocks, the biggest one measuring 5 on the Richter scale.
An eye-popping force of nature had people fleeing for their lives in a small Manitoba lakeside community overnight. A destructive 3-story wave of ice roared ashore, the frightening result of high winds combining with the spring melt.
Friday night, and people were settling in for the weekend when out of nowhere, a wave of ice roared ashore like a freight train, crushing 12 homes and cottages, damaging many others. These ice chunks smashed their way through buildings like they were made of matchsticks.
It sounded like, I've never been in a tornado, but I'm going to assume that it sounds something like that. It's just a big roar, and you can see it coming. And you keep thinking, oh, it's not coming any farther, it's going to stop, but it just kept on coming.
That is crazy.
I wonder how they're going to stop it.
And now to a neighborhood that is slowly being swallowed by the earth. An entire subdivision where the homes are crumbling. Neighbors being told to pack up and leave.
This morning, residents and officials in one Northern California town are mystified, desperately trying to figure out what's caused 7 homes to be swallowed up by the earth. What started as small cracks in the ground gradually opened into small canyons.
All the cracks in the roadway seem to have gotten bigger.
Quickly engulfing the Lake County homes and stripping some down to the core. Now the entire community of 29 homes is at risk of collapsing.
It's metastasizing like cancer, and it's spreading out. There's new cracks showing up in areas of the subdivision that weren't affected before.
Even worse, no one knows why it's happening.
To add to the mystery, there is also a dormant volcano in the area, and at least one public works employee has said he believes many of the problems there are caused by that volcano. And of course, scientists are looking at all of this right now, Dan and Biona.
Caused by a volcano. Bizarre. All right, Gio, thank you.
The area around Mexico City is on a volcanic alert this morning. The 17,000-foot volcano became more active over the weekend. It has been shaking and pumping out steam. The government is sending soldiers and police to the region. They have blocked off a 7-square-mile area.
Let's talk about the space agency NASA. It's released some really fantastic pictures. This is a time-lapse video showing a solar eruption just around the edge of the sun. The gigantic rolling solar wave.
6 people have died as storms sparked as many as 10 tornadoes across northern Texas.
And it turns out at its height, the storm system was visible from space down to the circulation of one tornado just minutes before it dropped down and was reported on the ground. One of a dozen tornadoes to strike last night, some of them producing the most severe and damaging winds on Earth. The death toll has been growing.
We have casualties and severe injuries. We have multiple houses that are no longer there.
So the EF4 tornado had winds of up to 200 miles an hour. The howling and hail began at sundown. Warning sirens shrieked for about 26 minutes before the tornado hit.
Look at it, it's right above us. Holy.
One tornado would have been painful enough, but this morning the National Weather Service confirms that there were 16 of them tearing through northern Texas Wednesday, including this EF4 monster with winds up to 200 miles an hour.
We have seen foundations wiped clean, cars tossed from driveways,
homes obliterated, pounding giant hail.
That's the biggest I've ever seen.
The National Weather Service has issued a tornado watch for more than 30 counties.
More tornadoes expected across the Midwest, all the way from Texas to Michigan. This is happening everywhere.
My cars are gone, my house is gone, but my children are here and we're okay.
Spectacular tornado systems have hit Western Australia's southwest coast today.
Several water spouts, well, dancing. There's the main one with an estimated wind speed of around 90 kilometres per hour.
But what's causing this extreme weather?
8 people have died and 13 were injured from a cyclone that hit Sri Lanka on Wednesday, government officials said. Cyclone Mahasin, which brought heavy rains and landslides to Sri Lanka, was expected to hit Bangladesh and Myanmar later this week.
GDOT crews are fixing a sinkhole to try and get it closed for good.
And here's a look at that sinkhole. The work is going on right now in Gwinnett County on State Route 124.
As the hole grew to 4 feet across, 6 feet deep. People first noticed it last night.
A meteoroid has circled the moon and slammed into its surface, causing the biggest explosion NASA has ever seen. This telescope orbiting the moon captured images of the 40-kilo rock hitting the lunar surface. Scientists say the flash was nearly 10 times brighter than anything they've seen in the 8 years they've been watching.
That same night, cameras detected an unusually high number of meteors blasting through Earth's atmosphere as well.
Well, the sudden die-off of thousands of honeybees has scientists and Minnesota agriculture experts trying to figure out what happened.
In the last few days, thousands of honeybees have died in Winthrop.
Whatever it is, it's affecting the nervous systems of the bee.
Other beekeepers across the country have reported similar problems.
Around 600 dead birds and marine animals, among them some rare species, have been washed up along the coast in recent days, near Chile's northern city of La Serena.
Crews are repairing a 12-foot deep sinkhole that opened up on a street in southern New Jersey at the intersection of Bay Avenue and 20th Street in Ocean City. It's not yet clear what caused the hole to form on Wednesday evening.
Happening right now, construction crews are hard at work trying to repair and fill a gaping sinkhole.
There are several streets like this that crews are working on with sinkholes.
I think this is very strange, very unusual to have I think it was 7.5 inches of rain, and water has never been this high.
The storm came through and left a gaping hole in the road about 25 feet deep.
The photographer snapped this, catching a meteor streaking across the sky above a volcano. We're going to pull out in just a moment. You can see that it's Mount Bromo. In the distance of the photograph, it's one of Indonesia's only active volcanoes.